All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is a special day because I'm joined here with my good friend Joseph Samara.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's good. First
episode.
not first episode.
First episode with me in it.
Yeah, first episode with you in it, but like first episode with a guest. Yeah, it's a little different not having Mason in front of me, which is nice because at the same time it just feels a little fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
Mason,
but
you hear that?
Mason. No, but Mason and I actually are planning to get more guests up on the podcast just to diversify it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get another mic just so that it could be just me and Mason right beside each other and the guest right there.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, Joe and you and I met in high school. We've been friends in high school, and then after that, we just stayed friends, which is really rare.
Yeah.
Which is really rare because usually in high school,
stop talking to a lot of people.
Exactly. I mean, you and I were like in the tight circle.
We knew each other like grade 10 and 11 probably, but we were never close. And then we started talking in grade 12.
Mm-hmm. I think initially what got us to become really close was sports. I think that was like the factor that really made us like really close.
Yeah. And plus I was also friends with Jake. I was close with Jake. And then Jake, you guys were close, so it was kind of mutual. True.
Yeah, because you and I never really interacted way before.
Bro, I didn't like you.
Was
before.
It?
Not that I didn't like you.
I know.
I remember you would go in the front of the class and you would like squat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. I know. That was the type of David that you would.
Once I got to know you.
That was the type of David that you would kind of get
high school
in high school. That's
David.
when I was like really into fitness and whatnot. Still repping JDM training shirt.
I should have worn mine.
Yeah, no.
I still wear mine.
I know. You and Jake actually still wear yours.
Wear it to Movati all the time.
That's hype.
Yeah.
It's really nice when I see that just because, I mean, not only does it bring me back to that, to high school, but it's also just it's really nice to see that your friends really support each other. But no, I mean the thing is like with us, we were really close we got really close in high school because of like sports. We played baseball and whatnot. But what I really like about us is that we continued our friendship relationship throughout, even right after high school. And despite the fact that we went to completely two different schools, we were still like really homies.
Yeah, there was a little gap because everyone obviously was starting new.
Yeah.
You were in university, I was in college. It was a new life, it was new everything. So there was a little bit of a gap. And then I remember I saw you at Carleton once. Remember you and Cameron Skulvan were studying?
Yes, yeah.
And I came to you guys and we talked for like 4 hours. We didn't even study. And then from that on, we just
was that when we went to that little study room and we were dancing?
Yeah.
And we were dancing. Oh, there was still that video. Okay,
I still have that.
Is that what it was? Because you're right. Now that
there's a little bit of a gap.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone went on their own for like the first month of school.
Yeah,
everyone was adjusting, meeting new friends.
Yeah,
getting into life.
I mean, that like getting into like university was crazy to me just because there was a ton of people, new faces, and everybody's schedule was different. And I just remember trying to hang out with the people that I knew in high school. Whenever I would see them on campus, I'd be like, oh shit, hey, what's up? And trying to like make conversation with them just because that was more of like my comfort zone. But yeah, no, you're right. I did see you and we had a really good time, and it kind of just carried on from there.
Yeah.
But you'd actually have to refresh my memory because I feel like that part, like 2016, was like a blur.
Yeah.
So
we graduated. We were super close. All of us, all the boys were super close in high school. Grade 12. We clicked in grade 12 and we became close.
Yeah.
And then we went to prom and everything, and we got the hotel room with everybody, and then that was super fun. And we hung out all summer. And then right when school started, like I said, everyone was like transitioning into new school, new lifestyle and everything.
Yeah.
So like a month or two passed where no one talked to each other.
Yeah.
And then you or Cameron Sokulova, one of you posted a story that you guys were studying, and I was at Carleton with my
I think it was your sister.
I was with my sister and my cousin.
Yeah.
My sister goes to Carleton.
Yeah.
And we were studying, and I saw you guys' post. So I replied to it. I was like, where are you guys?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that was me. That was on Snapchat.
Yeah.
I think
like
Snapchat.
That. So I pulled up.
Yeah.
I pulled up, and then we started talking, hanging out. We started dancing and playing music and stuff.
Yeah.
And then from that on out, we were like, bro, why haven't we talked in school? And
Yeah.
then boom, we just kept hanging out, and then.
But yeah, I mean, like we went to 2 different schools, so like we weren't hanging out in school. So like I'm just trying to remember like after school. Yeah, I remember like we just play like sports.
Yeah, we go toss.
A lot of yeah, you're right.
Bro, we went
right.
to Carlton at like 12 o'clock at night once with David Kerman, Jacob, Justin, and we did the spicy noodle challenge.
Oh yes.
I brought a kettle from my house.
Yes, yo.
And we filled it up to the water fountain.
I know. That was yo. I wish who has that footage? Because I remember
one of you have it.
It's either me or Ryan. It was either me or Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan was there. Yeah.
It was so funny because we didn't have bowls. So you know what we did? We actually would put the hot water
in the bag.
Yeah, that was so dangerous. And we spilled some. I just remember, but
we made such a mess.
Yeah, but I just remember that was a really good time. And but I think like from there we just stayed really good friends. But I think what got us really close to how we are right now is probably like COVID times. I think because that was the time where everybody's life was on pause. You and I were talking. We were playing video games with the boys and whatnot, and then
till 4 a.m.
Exactly, and then this was also the big part of our lives where you and I got really addicted into trading cards, right? So this was the boom when Logan Paul was into like the Pokemon and trading cards industry was just booming, right? And like we just had extra money on the side and
we weren't going out, we weren't spending our money, so we put it into cards. You did Pokemon, I did sports cards.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, like, I remember we would even film some videos. Remember that one time that I pulled like that Charizard and like we're making reaction videos?
We were in the car, bro. We couldn't even go places. We were in the car at what's that school on Carson's?
Samara.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're in their parking lot.
No, I know we did that, but there were times where we would film at my place.
Yeah.
Remember?
Sure.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. But we did that. Yeah. That was a crazy time because
but the one at your house, you're talking about you pulled the Charizard from Evolutions, I think it was called.
Champion's Path.
No.
Oh yes, the Evolution. The more rare one.
Remember, it was in a box. It was in like a big box. It wasn't a booster box. It was like a big one.
Yes. Was it?
Yes, bro.
Yes, the Kanto box.
Yes,
the Kanto box.
And I got it from you from Bayshore.
Yes.
I went to Bayshore and I hit my first ever restock.
Yes.
Because those shit like would fly off the
yes. So let's backtrack a little bit before we even got into that. Yeah. So once we got into the trading cards, like the trading card industry was booming, and we saw this
fire.
It was exactly like people were selling cards for like 1,000% margin.
Oh,
right.
For sure.
More.
Sure.
And like so, you and I. This is one thing that I really liked about you was that I saw this entrepreneurial mindset that you had where you started also getting into that stuff, and we both got into the trading card hobby. We were collectors at first, and then we were also started flipping cards.
Yeah. So to make it all easy for everyone, we started off as collectors, and we're in the hobby for the love of it.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where we noticed that it's not sustainable. It's expensive, and we just didn't have the extra funds for all that.
Yeah.
So we got to a point in our collecting life that we saw that we needed to make money while doing it. Mm-hmm. So then we started scalping.
Yes.
We'd go to Walmart.
No, but the thing is, before we even started scalping, remember there was one time, this is what got us hooked into it. This was like the drug. This was when the time where I still remember his name, who's Matt. So this is when Matt had sold us like really cheap Pokemon cards for like great Pokemon cards that were super cheap, and then we would flip them.
We would flip them.
I remember that was like a drug to me. Like I would buy let's say like 5 cards, and I would spend like $25 or $75, and then I would flip it and make like $350, and then like I just kept on doing that. And then it went from like spending $75 to spending $200 to spending $300 on his collection, and then flipping them myself.
Facts, bro. I didn't even know what Pokemon was.
Yes.
I would just go through his cards, and I would always pick out the one that had the first edition stamp.
Yes.
Because those sold like
crazy
hotcakes, bro.
Yes.
They were off the shelves immediately.
Yes.
So I would buy all his first editions, and then the next day post them on Kijiji or Facebook.
Yeah.
Gone.
Exactly.
Gone.
We would literally make our money instantly. And then because of that, then we transitioned to we came to realize that sealed boxes were more were more admired.
Yeah.
Or like
the demand was.
Yeah, exactly. There were more demand for that.
Just as much, or even if a little bit more.
If not more. Yeah. Exactly. And that's when we got into it. Was it you that first got into the sealed boxes, or was it me?
No, definitely, I think it was me. Like I said, I was at Bayshore.
Yeah.
So I went so at that time I was only doing Tim Hortons.
Yes.
Cards.
But before you get into that, to just give context, the trading card industry was so hot at this point where that any new stock going to the stores would completely be washed out immediately.
Within 5 minutes, it was gone.
Yes.
I would call hobby shops, so stores that sold cards, and I'd be like, what do you guys have? Like, what can I buy? And they'd only have hobby boxes, and the hobby boxes at the time were going for like $3,000. And I'm not putting $3,000 in a box of cards. So I told him, how do you get cards otherwise? He's like, check Walmart's.
Yeah.
So I'd go to Walmart, nothing on the shelf.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I realized that you have to get very lucky and you got to go there when the person's restocking.
Yeah.
And then at this time I was doing Tim Hortons. I was trying to collect the whole set and have the whole binder. I talked to this person from past Canada, and they were willing to meet me at Bayshore to do a simple trade. Because I had a card he needed, and they had a card I needed.
Yeah.
So we pulled up, went to Bayshore. I went all the way to Bayshore from Blair just to make a trade. And I figured, let me just walk into the Walmart and check.
Yeah.
I walk in, and all I saw was the ladies stocking the shelves for the first time ever.
Yeah. And when you see the person restocking, that was like...
It's a rush.
It's literally, it was like a drug. You know, like...
It's bad to say. All I saw was dollar signs. All I saw was money.
Yes,
money.
bro. Bro, it got to a point... I mean... See, the thing is, like, going back to it, like, you and I were collectors first. This was...
Let's put that out there.
Yeah,
we were collectors first.
Some of the products that were being put out on the shelves were things that we wanted to purchase ourselves, right? But, like, we weren't able to just because there was no supply, right? And if you wanted to get the supply, you'd have to pay, like, 5x of...
On the resale market.
On the resale market, right? And then so there would be times where... We saw this as a great opportunity for us to just scout. We started scouting every Walmart. And the funny thing is, like, this was during COVID. So was I working? No, I think I was.
Of course.
Yes, I was
working at Rogers.
Yes, I was working.
Remember that one time you hit a restock and you called Rogers?
Yes.
And told them your car broke down.
Yeah, so yeah, it got to the magnitude of where it was so serious that you would have certain locations where you would go check, and I had certain locations that I would go check. And then there was a point where I had to go to work, but then I didn't have much hope, right? Because you would walk in and then it would usually be empty, or there would be like 10 other people waiting. But this
at that time you would always see other people.
There would be other people, yes. But there was one point where I walked into Walmart. It was morning, right before my shift, and then nobody was there. And then all of a sudden, I just see two people stocking up the shelves, and they had a lot of items, boxes on boxes, and like some products that I've never seen before. These were like the Prism basketball and Prism football, and like I saw some crazy Pokemon
Kanto
stuff
boxes.
Exactly those products. And then I was looking at time. I was so stressed because I only had 20 minutes to spare before my shift started. And I called you right away, and it's like, Joseph, you have to get your ass over here right now. And then I just remember you answering, and then I told you, oh, I hit the restock. And then you couldn't believe me, and I show you the people stocking. I just see you're sweating because you couldn't leave your work.
I couldn't.
You couldn't leave. Yes, you had a meeting and you couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And then I was telling you, Joseph, you gotta come. You gotta come because I gotta go to work. And then I just knew that you couldn't come because if you could come, you would have been there right away.
For sure.
You would have been there right there. But then what you did was you called your cousin.
Because you lived in the area.
Exactly. You called your cousin to come, but I was running out of time. And so what I had to do was I had to come up with something very clever. And this time, it was winter time. So then I actually just called my manager at the time, who's super cool. And he's actually a big supporter with this podcast. Shout out to you. Like, you're a real one.
That's nice.
Yeah, by far my favorite coworker I've worked with, best manager. But anyway, so I called him. I was like, hey, listen, my car won't start. I told him my car won't start. I'm just trying to get it started.
And I'll be there. BMW at the time. I wasn't started.
I'll tell you something funny about that too. I was telling him like, yeah, my car won't start. I gotta figure this out, right? And so I just thought that was the best that was the best excuse. And then he was like, okay, I understand, no problem. Just get here whenever you can. And then I just waited an extra 45 to an hour, and before they were shut, because you couldn't get close to them. You could not grab products.
Time, they didn't want anyone beside them, and they had to take a picture.
Exactly. You couldn't grab items right before everything was on the shelf. And then I was getting really stressed out because other people started arriving. Your cousin came. Other people came. That guy named Dean. Exactly. He started. People started arriving, and I was so stressed out. And I was on the phone with you. I was like, "Yo, what product should I grab?" Blah 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 blah. Everything. Grab everything. I remember I was just so uncertain because I walked out of Walmart with $1,800 on my credit card.
Facts.
With just products, and I was so
you can't return them,
and you couldn't return them.
These are no return. The people literally, like the cashiers will tell you, you do know you can't return them.
You can't.
Like I've had situations where I've gone to the cash, rang up $2,000, and she looks at me. She's like, you know you can't return these, right? I was like, don't worry. They'll be sold by tonight.
Yeah. And what's so funny was that I literally walked out of that. I walked out of that Walmart with like couple bags. Yeah. I split some with your cousin and whatnot. I just remember sitting in my car. I was like, wow, my car is like filled to the brim with just like Pokemon, basketball, football cards, everything. And I was just like, yo, I don't even know what I just did. I just spent like $1,800 on these products. I don't even know most of these, especially for the sports sides. Right. And then I was like, yo, whatever. I go to work. I tell because going back to what you said, I had a BMW. I just told him I couldn't find the battery because funny enough, a week prior to that, I just found out that the battery of my BMW was in the trunk. Okay. You would expect it to be in the hood, right? But it was actually in the trunk.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, so I made that an extra excuse. But the crazy thing about that, $1,800, I made that money back on that same day.
For sure, bro.
Same day. So basically, I sold it. I sold a third of it.
Yeah.
If maybe a third or half of it, and I made my money back. And so I had like. So I had like a lot of products. One thing I want to
say about that is, yes, it's not the best thing. What we did was we resold. We'd sell to collectors, knowing that we're marking it up because they wanted, like they would do anything to get their hands on stuff. So they would pay the double prices. Yes, it's not the best thing in the world, but at the same time, it's not like we were just making money. We were just trying to sustain our hobby. So what we would do is, like, let's say our bill came up to $2,000. I would sell as much product as I could to get to the $2,000 back, just to return my investment and have zero money spent. Then let's say I'm left with 40% of the product. I would store 20 for my long term. Hold, and I'll sell those in the future, and then I'd rip 20%.
Exactly. So we still had fun. Exactly. So we did that to sustain our hobby. Our hobby. Exactly. So like we weren't doing it for profit. I mean, I guess so, because you're gonna sell some of it long term to make more money. But at the end of the day, I know this is gonna sound stupid, but like it was either us or them. Because literally, if you were in the hobby, there would be times where people even got into fights. Because like literally,
but Walmart called bylaw.
I know, because there would literally be like 20 people scouring around in that little aisle, right? And then like you couldn't just be doing that because it was during COVID, right? It was only like, bro, it got to a point where some section of Walmart was sectioned off. Yeah, remember? It was
they put the lockdown, and then they closed off all unessential aisles. Yeah, and only food and like soaps were open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was.
So toys were closed. Furniture, everything, clothes, not essential.
And like we did that. That was a big part where like you and I really connected. And the reason why we really I really connected with you was because for me, I've always had the entrepreneurial mindset, and it was really nice to see like a friend of mine like be on that vibe as well, right? Like you and I were making money, and like we were making some good money, bro.
I never made money on sports cards.
Okay.
So my rule of thumb was I never made money on sports cards. I still haven't made money. Yeah. But I have an amazing collection at home of both cards, raw graded,
absolutely,
and sealed collection. Yeah. I never spent money on cards. I always made my money back. Yeah. But I never made money.
Yeah. But the collection that you have right now, if you were to sell that, that's that's a large sum amount of money.
Yeah, I'll say it. I have nothing to add. I would estimate it at around $5,000.
No, collection. He's being nice. He's being nice. He can buy a new Honda Civic with his collection.
Relax.
Give it like 2 years, he can buy a Honda Civic.
Hopefully in the future, it doubles, triples.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna say no.
Exactly. I mean, the market now is a little, it's correcting itself.
It's correcting itself, and it's down from where it was, but easily I'd say $4,000 to
Yes.
$5,000
Yeah.
just sitting there.
But yeah, bro, it was a crazy time, bro. Like I remember just driving like 2 hours away to sell like 3 cars, and I made like $1,500
Bro,
off of it.
COVID was wild,
it was a wild time. But
COVID
yeah,
was really bad and messed up a lot of things. But in terms of businesses, it messed up a lot of businesses, but it also opened a lot of businesses.
it opened up a lot of business, and I actually wanted to talk about like other businesses that you've dabbled into. I remember during COVID, I was doing a lot of drop shipping, and then you were doing some reselling. You were reselling.
I was a reseller.
You were reselling golf stuff.
Exactly.
How did you get into that?
Okay, so basically when COVID happened and the lockdowns happened, obviously after the first little phase and once people started going outside, everyone wanted to do stuff, wanted to move around. They were staying at home for months on end. So they wanted to get out and try something. Mm-hmm. Everything was closed. Parks were closed. Everything was not able to do. Except for golf. Golf was always open because golf, you're playing on a wide range of a field. You're far from each other. You're playing in groups of 4 and usually family members. So you're not always with strangers. So so golf boomed. Golf exploded. Mm-hmm. So at this time, stores are closed and no one wants to spend thousands of dollars because golf is expensive. It's with hockey.
You try to get me into golf, and
it's up there
to
with
say
hockey.
the least. I've only been once. Twice.
So the round's expensive, your clubs are expensive, rentals are expensive. So expensive. Also at the same time, it's COVID. Everyone's at home doing nothing. What do they do? They're cleaning their house. So just doing research, looking into it, I've noticed a lot of people are cleaning their house and getting rid of junk. What is junk? A lot of people are getting rid of their old golf equipment. So what did I do? I knew there was a surplus of equipment out there, and I knew there was a demand for golfing equipment and people wanted to start golf. So what we did was me and my cousin actually started a golf reselling business. So what we would do is we would find let's say a set on Facebook Marketplace, $100. We negotiate them down to 75, 60, depending on what they're able to move to. We go pick it up, take it back to my cousin's house, scrub it down because they're always dirty and they're always old. Scrub it down, clean it up, repost it, $200 sold the next day.
That's crazy. So was this your idea or was this your cousin's idea?
I think it was a mutual idea.
Okay.
I don't really remember who came up with it exactly.
Yeah.
But it was a good idea.
But and one thing I would say too is that like what I really liked about that is even with the cards and everything, like you were also into golf. So that was really fun for you. So you love the hobby of playing golf, and you were also in the business with golf. So that's one thing. That was one thing that I really admired about you, and like you having that hustle mindset just made me as a friend really proud of you. And it was so funny because I remember like you were saying you had a business, but then you wouldn't even tell me what it was. And then the funny thing is, I asked you, why aren't you telling me? And tell them what you told me.
It was a joke. Bro. I'm pretty sure I was like, because I don't want you to
steal it.
It was half that, and also it was half because you also started businesses, and you would always tell us, and you never tell us what it was. You'd just be like, bro, I started a business. So I wanted to keep it a secret from you guys.
I know, it was like a karma
thing. But then I let it marinate, and then I finally told you guys, obviously. I know.
No, but you told people way before. You told some of our friends before you told me, and it was killing me. It was working. Exactly. That tactic was working. It was like, yo, I love business, and this guy's into business, and why isn't he telling me? And it was like, and I just remember I had like a lot of guesses. But I mean, during that time I was doing a lot of drop shipping, and I don't know why I was being secretive about it. I think it was more about like not me just trying to tell you guys, yo, I'm doing businesses, but it was more about like me not trying to jinx it, but like at the same time I just wanted to like grind and like and not really talk much about it. But it was just pretty funny that you did that. And
it was good times. Played a sport I love, got into it as a newbie, fell in love with it, made money with it. Beautiful mix.
So you love making money, and that's one thing. Another thing that I admire about you as a friend is that you're a family guy. You love your family, and like you
first always.
Yeah, exactly. You find ways to not only support your hobbies, but also like you support your family. And I just want to say that's something that I really admire about you. and that
likewise. You
thank
tell me
you
all the time.
And that whatever it is that you want to do, like you go for it. And we've been close where you and I had business ideas, right? Like when we were in that trading card industry, we wanted to open up our own store and whatnot, but like it would have been very difficult to get supplies and whatnot. And then somewhat recently, we had this idea where we wanted to sell a product, like a cool product, right? And like that never went through. I mean, there's always opportunities in the future, but I guess my question here is that if you dabble into business again, like what kind of business do you think you would go into?
I definitely want to start like we talked about. I want to sell a product. I haven't come up with a product yet because golf is done. The demand for golf stuff's done, and I closed that. Ended that era. Then now trading cards, sports cards are definitely calming down a lot. I'm content with my collection and everything, so I'm also trying to end that era. So now I need to find my next thing. One thing I loved from doing sports cards was having the connection with like customers and packing up their orders and
so you even did that, bro. Because you weren't just selling like sealed products. You actually made your own like little mystery stuff.
Exactly.
And you actually was a nice guy about it. You actually put good cards in
for
that.
Sure. So going through like shipping and contacting customers and telling them, oh, did you get your stuff? And they tell us, oh yeah, I got my stuff. I love it. And I love the packaging. And you were such a good guy to deal with. I want to definitely get into that. So I want to start selling. I need to find a product that people want. And that's something I like.
So you would go into the product industry.
For sure.
Yeah. Cause like the best part about like having a business is like the journey, right? Like you were just like you were saying, you like the fact that like you were communicating with the customers, shipping it, and just like seeing that money come in and it's just so fun, right? And that's one thing that I really like about you, and like the fact that you're into business is because not a lot of people, at least in our friend group, are into business. And the fact that you and I can come and sit down and like talk about business and stuff like that is really nice to me, because it's very hard for me to find people that have the same mindset and somewhat. I mean, like I can connect with a lot of people, but it's very rare where I can talk to people who have the desire to be in business. And that's one thing that I really see in you, is that you always have the entrepreneurial mindset, and and I really love that about you.
Not as much as you.
No, I and the funny thing is I think that's like a very like immigrant thing. You know, like bro. I see a lot of immigrants here, like these just see every opportunity as a business, you know. Exactly.
I have an uncle that literally anything I'll show him. I'm like, what are you staring at or something, or why aren't you answering? Like I'll show him a TikTok, and then I'll ask him like, what's your thoughts? And then he's like, I'm just trying to think how I can make money off that. That's all. And see, that's the type of people I want to be around with, because those type of people really open up your mindset, right? And like for you, I think a lot of it, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of your family are into businesses, right? Some of them have their own dental practices, some of them have their own restaurant, and I think you growing up in that environment really kind of like motivates you and really opens up your mind and what's the possibilities out there, you know? For sure. I had another uncle that owned a pizza spot, and I would help him out, and just seeing him clean up, closing up for the day, checking to see if everything's like
done, everything's
admiring his clean closing business for the day. Inspirational.
It's inspirational. And like one thing I liked about that is because like your uncle, like the fact that you're saying that like he would close and everything, he's the owner, but he does like the little tasks, that miscellaneous tasks that like you would hire someone minimum wage to do, right? But man, I mean, I think this was a great chat.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
thanks for having me.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely not going to be the last time you will be on the podcast. I really enjoyed this conversation, and hopefully next time I have you on, you are on a business endeavor yourself, and I would really love to hear about that. I mean, to end it off, for anybody interested on finding you, where can they find you?
Instagram, mainly J_Samara19. My Instagram. You have any business ideas, hit me up. We'll work together.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're in the Ottawa area, you have a little business with your cousin in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. We do landscaping. It's his business, but I help out.
Yeah.
I'm the COO.
Yeah, there you go, man. See, this is why I love people like you, bro. Because like anything, there's always business, and like that's why I really enjoy hanging out with you and your cousin. And you guys really inspire me, and
sure.
and I'm happy to be part of your circle, bro.
Okay, just before we end this off, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
As of right now,
Yeah.
give us a hint on who the next guest is gonna be.
The next guest, the next guest is actually lined up for next Tuesday.
Okay.
One thing that I would say is that he's a business owner.
Ooh,
and he has a restaurant here in Ottawa.
I think I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay.
There we go.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that.
Okay.